Has there been anything since we spoke last Wednesday that has stood out about spring practice?
Well, yeah, there was the first scrimmage on Saturday, so I figured it was coming around that time. Confirmed when they were like, "Yeah, practice is closed to everybody on Saturday." I was like, that smells like a scrimmage." You know what I mean? So there was that. Defense did well. Tyler Van Dyke just continues to do Tyler Van Dyke things. Jay Garcia looked really good. Ja'Cory Brown looked pretty good. You know, as Daniel collects notes, yeah, there's tons of things that started with Miami in a tradition-wise, putting the four fingers up fourth quarter of the chain, smoke coming out of the tunnel. All things like that and more that have been copied across the landscape of college football, which, is still ongoing. So, yeah. Sorry, that was an aside. Back to the lecture at hand. So the scrimmage, got some opportunity to have guys showcase what they're doing. We're still missing 8-10 guys who are going to be factors this fall, so it wasn't the entire team. Xavier Restrepo really looks like he's stepping up. Frank Ladson looks like he's getting back into the battle with Jacoby George at the X receiver, and that's a sight for sore eyes, because while I think that Jacoby George can be good, he'll even be Keyshawn Smith at the X. And while I think that all of them can be very good, having Ladson return to form, his All-American high school form, and the flashes that he showed at Clemson, but getting towards that consistently is that would be a big added benefit for the program. So, but yeah, it was a good day, a clean day. There was, I think Jared Harrison Hunt might have gotten dinged up a little bit because he wasn't at practice yesterday. And then you're just kind of going through spring. You got guys who are out for a while and then they're back. Elijah Arroyo had a red no contact jersey. Tuesday he comes out in the regular jersey and things like that. But it was really just the scrimmage. So we're really starting to get a hold on the install of what we're trying to do to try to build an identity for this team overall in terms of being a crystal ball-led organization and for this season with hopefully minimal injuries. And that's the biggest thing to me. You're always going to have player development. Guys are just going to be a year older and wiser and smarter, and another trip through the fourth quarter program or in the weight room. And I know that it's a different program this year and everything, but whatever the off-season program is, the fourth quarter program, the map drill program, whatever, whoever the S&C is, another months of weightlifting and things like that. So you're going to have those kind of developments. The thing that you want to avoid, in my eye, and the most important thing, are injuries. It's just, it just changes the face of everything, In 2000, what was that? 13? Whenever Brad Kaya first started, that was because Ryan Williams tore his knee up in the spring. And he wasn't able to come back. So that changed that season. Now, I'm not going to say that it took us from being a championship contender to something else, but, you did not have the idea of starting a true freshman when you signed him, because Brad Kaya was a top 150 guy in America, or top 200, but he wasn't top 5. You know what I mean? Then you bring in Jake Heaps and everything to try to cover that gap of, okay, this guy who is a fifth-year senior and who we thought was going to start, he had won a state championship at Miramar and he played at Memphis for a year or two and everything. And no, Ryan Williams isn't going to be an NFL Hall of Famer. And he didn't have that, he wasn't going to be on that path. But as a fifth-year senior, you figure, okay, he's probably the safer bet while everything kind of moves forward. We had to change the paradigm in the path because of an injury. And that's the most important thing to me to avoid. So it seems like we've gotten through this point. Hopefully, sorry, I'll knock on the wooden piano behind me. But yeah, hopefully we'll continue that. But that's the most important thing, more than any of the updates, because the updates are going to be, we were working on this, we did this well, blah, 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 blah. Everybody says the same thing. Just don't get anybody hurt. Continue to install and move forward.